So, what are some of the challenges that you face as a teacher working in a learning environment?
Well, the challenge is number one, you don't know who is coming to you when you start off teaching. You don't know what each student is going to bring. You don't know their challenges. So one of the biggest challenges for me is getting to know them first and foremost, because by doing that, then you're able to teach them even better when they know you, and they know me. So when I know them and they know me, that is very important. Come September, we're all trying to get to know our students. And I think that's a very important thing. I think that sometimes we tend to focus on classroom management and so forth, but I really think everything begins with knowing your students as individuals, and that takes some time. Another challenge I would have to say I would face it. Many times I'm working on something with the students and I'm trying to get across something to them and finding the resource to do that actually is relevant to them, that they can make a connection to. Many times the resources could be out there, but the time that it takes to find it, most teachers often just say, you know what, forget that, let me just create my own, because I know exactly what I need and exactly what it needs to look like for this learning opportunity.
What are some of the rewards?
Oh, the rewards are plenty. If you're into the teaching as for the right reason, your passion, you get to see those children, those young little minds leave your classroom all enthusiastic when they came in, and they really reflect on the year and think about things they learned, and seeing them grow and mature. A student might come into your class behaving one way when they come in, and then by the end of the year, their behavior has improved. Their academics could improve. You see the improvement in their life in some way, shape, or form, and knowing that you helped to shape that, knowing that they have also helped to shape you in your teaching, that's also very rewarding for me.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the work environment of a teacher.
Well, it's always unpredictable. The first thing I would say that you really have to be flexible, because you don't know what you're going to walk into from day to day. You might have these fantastic plans made up for the whole week, but there are other things that happen, interruptions throughout the day, and then you have to just be flexible, say, well, can't do that because this supersedes that. Oh, this is happening, got to put that aside, and so forth. So I think that that's one of the challenges, the day-to-day challenge that I would face, and many teachers face, as a matter of fact, the challenges that present each day, because you just don't know what is going to be present that day.
What is that? Talk a little bit about teacher-teacher interaction. How does that play out in whether you have a good teaching career or a bad teaching career, or somewhere in the middle?
Well, I think that teachers by nature, they tend to come together, and we really have a diverse staff, teaching staff in schools, in some schools. But when teachers get together, whether in the classrooms or outside on the school property, it always comes back to talking about the students, talking about how we can improve the challenges we face. And I think that it's very important to have people who you can bounce ideas off of. In that, sometimes you have a student where you've tried to do just about everything you can think of to do to reach that student, but nothing has yet been successful. For me, I go to their previous year's teachers to find out that little bit much more. What did you do to reach this student? How did this student perform in your class? Did you see these struggles that I'm seeing today? So I think that it's very important to have a staff where you can talk to each other, colleagues that you can talk with each other, interact with each other, be open and honest, and recognize that if you go to your colleague, you're not going to think, what kind of teacher are you? But there is some of that around as well, but it's just a matter of being persistent to overcome those challenges, and that hurdle, to foster those relationships amongst each other, that there's a comfort level that, it's not because I don't know, it's this student is presenting challenges that I've never dealt with before, I've never had to address before.